We all want to learn new things in life. How old are we when we're too old? Am I too old to learn how to play the guitar? We're going to take that on today at Live on Purpose TV. So Nate, I had some of my subscribers on my YouTube channel were wondering about this whole guitar thing because I've mentioned it before.
Right.
And I thought, let's just bring on the man himself to talk about this a little bit. Here's the question. Am I too old to learn how to play guitar?
No.
You're smiling. That triggered something in you.
Well,
Talk about that.
because it's funny because you see this with not just guitar, but with learning anything new if you're older in age, you know. And it's funny because I don't know a lot about psychology. I know a little bit about psychology, what you've taught me, but I do know this, that when someone decides in their brain, I'm going to learn this and I'm going to get good at it, and they actually believe it, then they get good at it. And it's like I have some older students in their 40s and their 50s. They come in and they're like, they just don't have that belief, and I call it a false belief. They don't have that false belief. They're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get that good. I'll just learn a couple tunes and then I'll be done. And the guys who actually believe in themselves end up getting really good. I mean, you're one of them. You got really good, really fast.
Thank you for complimenting me on my playing. That means a lot coming from you because you're a master at this instrument. What else do you want our viewers to know?
The first thing that drives it is belief that you're going to be able to do it. And the second thing is passion. Practice follows passion in my experience with guitar. Like you're going to practice.
Good point.
So
you can't do it without the practice.
Yeah, you can't. And usually if you're loving it and you love the idea of getting good at whatever it is, then you'll practice. So
I'm glad you got a chance to meet Nate. That has been such a fun experience for me as an older guy. Now by older, what do I mean? Okay, my twin sister turned 51 last birthday. Just saying. So I'm about the same age as her. Can you really learn a new skill when you get older? Let me just tell you a little bit about my experience with this because I think it applies to a lot of the things that we do in our psychological life. In September of 2016, I decided to start taking guitar lessons. With Nate, I was doing it online like we talked about in the interview. In June of 2017, so do the math, okay, that's about 9 months, I had an opportunity to perform on the guitar, singing a piece that I had arranged and prepared for our National Speakers Association summer picnic. That was a stretch for me. Think about some of the things that you do that you're already comfortable with. And for me, I've been a speaker my whole career. I don't even really get very nervous when I stand up to speak. You hand me a microphone, I'm happy. Let's do this thing. Not so much with the guitar and singing, especially at the same time. That was new for me. Not only was the skill set new, it was a stretch and something that I hadn't experienced before. So I share that with you just because I want you to see what's possible if you were to stretch. And what are the things that you're telling yourself that you can do or that you can't do simply because you don't have the experience yet. When I decided to learn the guitar, it's like Nathan said, I love the way he summarized this, because the first thing that you have to have is a belief that it's possible. Hopefully just watching this video today has inspired you to think about one of the things that you might want to try, but you haven't believed yet that it's possible. Folks, if I can learn to play the guitar in 9 months well enough to perform on that NSA stage, what else is possible? And it's not that I'm just this brilliant person. I don't think I'm any different than you are. And it was hard. Now, Nate pointed out 3 things. First is the belief. Second is the passion or the fuel or the why. Why do you want to do this? And I strongly believe if your why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. And that's number 3, practice. He said that passion drives practice. Did you catch that? In other words, if your belief is strong enough and you have a strong enough reason and why, that's going to help you do all of the hard things. Honestly, when I started playing the guitar, I could not play that darn thing for 5 minutes. It hurt, because you're pushing these metal strings with your fingertips, which are tender and sensitive. Well, now I have calluses on the tips of these 3 fingers because I've played it enough that I've built up the ability and the resources in my very body here to do the task that I've asked it to do. But it doesn't happen overnight. You have to put in the work. So what is it that you want to accomplish? Maybe you want to learn a new language. Okay, I've had that experience too. Jos minä puhun teille suomeksi, te ette ymmärrä yhtään mitään. Oh, yeah, that's Finnish for those of you who know Finnish. Thanks for listening. Finnish is a language that does not come easily. Can you learn it? Yeah, it's a choice. Just like the guitar is a choice. Well, what's it going to take? You got to have a belief that you can do it. You got to have some strong reason to do it. I learned Finnish because I was about to embark on a volunteer missionary experience where I got to live in Finland for 2 years. Do you think I had some reasons to learn Finnish? Oh yeah. So you got to have a strong enough why, and then the practice is what allows you to develop the skill set, the fluency in terms of a language. What about happiness? One of my friends, Scott Wilhite, who has been on my podcast, you can find a link in the description below, wrote this book, The 7 Core Skills for Everyday Happiness. What Scott pointed out in this book is exactly what we have been talking about here. Is happiness a choice? Yes, just like speaking Finnish or playing the guitar is a choice. How are we going to do it? It's a skill set too. Okay? This is a game changer, folks, because as long as you just look at it as just a choice, then you're going to feel guilty and accused maybe of not being happy when you could choose it. How does that feel? That's not helpful. What Scott pointed out in his book is that it's a skill set. And just like the guitar or speaking Finnish, you've got to have a belief that you can do it first. After that belief, what is your why? What is a strong enough, compelling enough reason that you will then do the work and the practice that is required to establish that skill set as part of what you can naturally do? And that's another thing that I'm fluent in. Positivity and happiness is something that I practice every day. I come to this office every day and practice. I am a black belt in positivity. Okay, just saying. I'm not doing that to brag. I'm just saying I know the principles and I've practiced them enough that I strongly believe, whenever I share this with you on these videos, that happiness is a choice. Yes, it is. How do I know that? I'm a black belt. I've figured this out. I want to share that with you, and that's why we're doing these videos. So can you learn to play the guitar when you're old? Yeah, what is old anyway, right? I hope that we've created some beliefs here today that you can not only play the guitar, you could speak Finnish, you could actually be happy and have amazing relationships and careers. It's all possible. Whether it's guitar or anything else that you want to improve in your life, you've got some new skills to do that. If you value this and you know someone else who would, please share.